Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is Mike Bass back again with another forecast. I'm hoping everybody's having a great Friday, safe and well, and also enjoy the weather because it's the only weather you got. Okay, in today's video, we're going to talk about the tropic. We got subtropical storm Don right on cue, just as expected. That's what I predicted earlier this week would happen, and it finally did. Okay, we're going to radar across the nation. Also, we're going to take a look at the watches, warning, and advisory map for your location. Also, we're going to take a look at the storm prediction center outlook for the 8-14 day temperature outlook, and also the precipitation outlook as well. Okay, if you're a new viewer and have not subscribed to my channel, consider subscribing. Love to have you. Like these videos, share these videos, and if you know anybody that would like to join the Mike Bass Weather Forecast channel, send them my way. Love to have them. Still trying to reach that 500 subscriber mark, so I need some help from the community out there. If I could get some help, I would greatly appreciate it. I'm not that far away. I need all the help I can get from every single viewer out there, and also a subscriber. If you know anybody that would help me get the 500, I'd greatly appreciate it. Let's go ahead and get the show on the road here, folks. As you can see here, we are looking at a subtropical storm Don. Located, this is the current location where I've got the mouse moving. This is the center of rotation right here. Most of the activities is pretty much the storm punching in, but it looks like it's trying to get its act together. But I do expect it to remain a subtropical storm and then become a full tropical storm probably later today or on Saturday. So Don is swirling in the central tropical Atlantic, but will just remain a fish storm currently out in the Atlantic. It's going to make a loop-de-loo out there in the Atlantic Ocean as well. So I thought I'd just I'll let everybody know that as well. Let's take a look at some information on tropical, subtropical depression storm Don. We're going to take a look at the National Hurricane Center forecast here from the National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida. We're going to show you their forecast cone for subtropical storm Don. Currently at 11 a.m. This is the current position. 11 a.m. the center was located near latitude 33.7 north, 47.3 west. Movement was to the north-northwest at 7 miles per hour, and the maximum sustained winds were near 45 miles per hour. Currently, it's a tropical storm. Sustained winds is classified as a tropical storm. Anytime between 39 miles per hour and 73 miles per hour is classified as a tropical storm. Less than 39 miles per hour is a tropical depression. Anything above 74 miles per hour to 110 miles per hour is a hurricane, and anything in the major hurricane is 110 miles per hour and above. Currently, like I said, it's going to remain a fish storm out in the Atlantic, because here's Bermuda, here's the Cabo Verde Islands over here. So it's going to remain and the Canary Islands also as well over here in this vicinity also. It's going to be pretty much just remain a fish storm. It's going to go up, then around, and then may make a run this way, or it could go like that. So, but we'll keep eye on it just to see what it does. All right, pretty much the hurricane. Let's take a look at the intensity guidance. Then we're going to go on to. Alright, here it is. It finally came up. Currently winds 45 knots. There it is right there. That's what you seen on what I read out, 45 miles per hour wind. It tries to weaken it down a little bit, but most of the intensity guidance still keeps it a tropical storm all the way through 168 hours out. There's only like 2 or 3 outliers right now showing it taking it back to a tropical depression. That's why we're sticking to our guns, and it's going to be a tropical storm for the next 7 days. For subtropical storm Don, like I say, which will become tropical storm Don sometime later today. It will lose the subtropical characteristics. It should become tropical storm Don. Like I said, today, Saturday or Sunday range, but it will become a tropical storm at some point. All right, before we go, let's take a look at the hurricane models real quick. You can see here the hurricane model. That's why the National Hurricane Center got the cone. This is the current position. Goes to the north, turns to the east, turns to the southeast, and then take kind of to the south, and then back to the southwest. That's why they got the model running this way here. So, all right, we're going to take a look at the weather radar across the nation now. As you can see here, we got widespread showers and storms up here around Boston and Connecticut, moving offshore into the coastal waters. We got some more widespread showers over eastern North Carolina, also over portions. Then we got scattered activity up here in portions of Pennsylvania, back into West Virginia, down through Kentucky and Tennessee. Also western North Carolina, South Carolina starting to get in on a little bit of action there too. More scattered showers and storms stemming from the coastal waters of South Carolina all the way down to the Bahamas, just north of Cuba there as well. Puerto Rico, you look good. Widespread showers and storms moving to the Gulf of Mexico as well. Out of Florida, also got some widespread showers in southern Georgia and northern Florida. Scattered activity over the south. All right, got more widespread showers and storms moving through Tennessee, also down in the portion of Arkansas and Oklahoma, moving into Texas. More widespread up here in showers and storms also expected up here into portions of Nebraska, moving into portions of Kansas, also Iowa, and we'll be moving into Missouri later today. Scattered activity with North Texas, back over towards portions. Sorry about the pop-up, it does it to me every time. But anyway, we got scattered activity over North Texas, all the way back into Arizona, and also back into New Mexico and Arizona. Also got scattered activity over southern Canada, also up here in portion of Michigan as well. Alright, Hawaii and Chain Island looks pretty good at this time. Central Alaska got a few scattered showers. Also around the Guam Island, got a few scattered showers around the island there as well. Alright, let's take a look at the watches, warning, and advisory map for your location across the nation. Alrighty, as you can see, we still got those flood watches, flood advisory warnings in effect for portion of New Hampshire down toward Vermont, also back into Boston and Connecticut, back over towards southern New York State. Flood watches also in effect for southern Virginia through central North Carolina and eastern North Carolina, also down into Panhandle, Florida, southeast Alabama, southwest Georgia as well. Alright, we got some special weather statement for some strong thunderstorms over eastern Kentucky, northern Mississippi. Got a severe thunderstorm warning for portion of Pennsylvania. Also, we got air quality alert for much of Indiana. Also up here for Wisconsin, also into northern Michigan, also all of Minnesota. Also northeastern portion of Wyoming, also northern portions of Colorado. We got some river flooding still going on in portions of South Dakota, over in portions of Nevada. We got a lot of heat advisories extending from Mississippi through Alabama, Mississippi, down to southern portion of Arkansas, all of Louisiana, much of Texas, eastern central portion of Oklahoma, all the way over into portions of New Mexico, also northeastern portion of Arizona, northeastern portion, central and northeastern portion of Nevada, southern portions of Utah, southern Idaho, central Idaho as well, much of Oregon, southern portions of Washington State, also in the portion of California. Especially, we got some fire weather watches in effect for portions of northern Washington State as well. Got some wind advisories over portions of Montana. Alright, we got a severe thunderstorm watch also in effect for portions of southern Nebraska and much of Kansas. Got some ongoing severe thunderstorm warnings as well. Excessive heat warnings also in effect for portions of southern Oklahoma, central and southern Texas, west Texas, also in western, central, and southern portions of Nevada, northwestern portion of Utah, central and southern California, western and southern portions of Arizona. Alrighty. Alaska looks good. The Hawaiian Chain Islands, south side, got some gale warning. North side looks a-okay. Storm Prediction Center time. Alright, today's outlook. We got the general thunderstorm from Maine down to the Florida Keys as well, all the way over toward Louisiana, back in Arkansas. Back to Arkansas, also back into Port of Texas, also New Mexico and Arizona, all the way back into Montana, all the way back into Minnesota, and also into portions of northern Michigan, also northern portions of Wisconsin. That's it. All right, we got marginal risk for severe thunderstorms, standing from portions of Vermont over toward Connecticut down to eastern North Carolina, also in portions of Alabama, back over to portions of New Mexico, back into portions of Wyoming as well. Also slight risk extended from Illinois back to northern Texas, also in Oklahoma as well. We got enhanced risk over portions of Kansas and also Oklahoma and western Missouri. Alright, if you live in Kansas City, Missouri, Tuscaloosa, Oklahoma, Wichita, Kansas, Overland Park, Kansas, and Kansas City, Kansas, you're in enhanced risk for severe weather this afternoon. If you live in Chicago, Illinois, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Lincoln, Nebraska, Aurora, Illinois, Rockford, Illinois, you're under a slight risk of severe weather. And if you live in New York, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Detroit, Michigan, Memphis, Tennessee, Baltimore, Maryland, you're under a marginal risk for severe weather this afternoon. Tornado probability for today, 2%, pretty much over portion of Oklahoma, Kansas, and also Missouri and southern Nebraska. Alright, if you live in Kansas City, Missouri, sorry about that, folks. My computer is updating the information. But anyway, if you live in Kansas City, Missouri, Tuscaloosa, Oklahoma, Wichita, Kansas, Overland Park, Kansas, Kansas City, Kansas, 2% risk for a tornado this afternoon. Let's take a look at the wind probability. Over 5% from the northeast down to the mid-Atlantic and the North Carolina area. Also from Alabama back to Colorado, back to Michigan. 15% from Illinois back to Texas. 30% over Kansas and Missouri. And a significant severe weather for damaging winds over 70 miles per hour will include. Also, this includes the 30% area as well. Alright, Kansas City, Missouri, Tuscaloosa, Oklahoma, Wichita, Kansas, Overland Park, Kansas, Kansas City, Kansas. This is for the significant area of damaging winds and the 30% risk as well. Alright, if you live in Chicago, Illinois, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Lincoln, Nebraska, Aurora, Illinois, Rockford, Illinois, 15% risk for damaging winds. And if you live in New York, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Detroit, Michigan, Memphis, Tennessee, and Baltimore, Maryland, 5% risk for damaging winds. Alright, the hail probability for today. We got 5% in the northeast down to portion of Virginia, also up into Michigan, from Illinois back to portion of Wyoming, Colorado, 15% Texas, into Missouri, and a little bit over here in portion of northern Illinois. Alright, so if you live in Kansas City, Missouri, Wichita, Kansas, Overland Park, Kansas, Kansas City, Kansas, and Topeka, Kansas, 30% risk for large hail, up to softball to maybe golf ball size hail. If you live in Chicago, Illinois, Lincoln, Nebraska, Aurora, Illinois, Rockford, Illinois, Napa, Indiana, Illinois, 15% risk for large hail. If you live in New York, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Baltimore, Maryland, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Boston, Massachusetts, 5% risk for large hail over quarter size hail. Alright, let's move on to day number 2. Alright, you can see we got general thunderstorm from Maine down to the Florida Keys, back to Louisiana, back to Texas, New Mexico, and also Arizona, all the way back over to Montana. Marginal risk over portions of Texas, New Mexico, and also Colorado. Also over Georgia, upstate South Carolina, all the way to New York State, also in Ohio as well. If you live in Detroit, Michigan, Columbus, Ohio, Charlotte, North Carolina, Cleveland, Ohio, and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, you're under a marginal risk for severe weather on your Saturday. Tornado probability mainly in the northeast, Pennsylvania up to New York State. If you live in the cities of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Buffalo, New York, Rochester, New York, Syracuse, New York, and Erie, Pennsylvania, 2% risk for a tornado on Saturday. Wind probability 5% over here in Texas and New Mexico and Arizona, Colorado, that is, Also in the portions of New York State down to South Carolina and Georgia. This includes Detroit, Michigan, Columbus, Ohio, Charlotte, North Carolina, Cleveland, Ohio, and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Take a look at the hail probability. Pretty much same areas. And if you live in Detroit, Michigan, all the way to Toledo, Ohio, and surrounding areas, you're under a 5% risk for large hail. Alright, we're moving on to day number 3, which will be your Sunday forecast for severe weather. Alright, as you can see, we've got general thunderstorm from Maine all the way down to the Florida Keys, back to Texas, all the way back to New Mexico and Arizona, all the way back into portion of South Dakota, Montana. Also, we got marginal risk in it from Nebraska and Kansas all the way to Illinois. Also up here in the Northeast, from near Washington, D.C., Pennsylvania, all the way into portions of New York State, Vermont, and New Hampshire as well. If you live in New York, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Kansas City, Missouri, Omaha, Nebraska, Newark, New Jersey, you're under a marginal risk for severe weather on Sunday. Probability 5% the same areas. New York, all the way to Newark, New Jersey, Kansas City, Missouri, and Oklahoma, Omaha, Nebraska, and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. 5% risk for severe weather on Sunday. Alright, take a look at the Climate Prediction Center outlook for the next 8 to 14 days. Here's a look at the temperatures, that is. As you can see, we got above normal temperatures in Maine. Also down here in portions of North Carolina, South Carolina, well above normal temperatures expected in Florida, Texas, also the West Coast from California, back into Montana, back over to North Dakota and portions of Minnesota. Also slightly above average. Also over here in portions of Wisconsin, back into portions of Texas, all the way back into portions of Arkansas, like I said, to the Carolinas here as well. We got a near normal temperature expected from portions of New Hampshire, Vermont, down to New York State, all the way down in North Carolina, all the way back over to portions of Kansas, back up to Michigan. We've got below normal temperatures expected over the Ohio River Valley, extending from Ohio, portions of Pennsylvania, down into West Virginia, also down into portions of northern portions of Kentucky. Alright, we got above normal temperatures over much of Alaska and the northwest. Alright, outlook, we got above normal precipitation above from Maine all the way down to Pennsylvania, South Carolina, North Carolina, down to northern Florida, extended all the way back to California and Arizona. Near normal precipitation extended from the mid-Atlantic region to portions of the Michigan and Wisconsin area, all the way back into portions of Kansas and Nebraska, back to portions of California. And then below normal precipitation extended from Ohio all the way back to Washington, Oregon, and California, and Nevada states as well. And in between, well below average precipitation, mainly over Montana, back over to Washington and the Oregon states and portions of northern Idaho. Alright, Alaska, central and northeast, above normal, near normal to the central and south. Alright, well, I hope everybody enjoyed this video. Hope everybody continue to stay safe and well. Enjoy the weather because it's the only weather you got. Like these videos, share these videos, and consider subscribing if you have not. And we'll catch you back in the next one.